Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different and honestly, genuinely fascinating. We're going to take a seemingly simple, family-friendly 3D animation prompt, and we're literally putting it under the microscope. We'll dissect this blueprint step by step to figure out the hidden mechanics of profound emotional storytelling. I mean, how exactly do you take just a few lines of text and engineer a story that absolutely tugs right at the heartstrings? Well, we're about to find out. Okay, let's dive into this. What is the true power of a single act of kindness? We so often think that changing the world requires these grand gestures, right? Like massive campaigns or immense resources. But the source text we're analyzing today argues something completely different. It anchors its entire narrative weight on the idea that the absolute smallest, most localized sacrifices, things we might not even think twice about, actually hold this incredible, transformative power. Section 1. The cinematic vision. The visual guidelines from our source text, well, they aren't just technical buzzwords, they're emotional directives. When the text demands Pixar-quality 3D animation and cinematic lighting, it's instantly commanding a high level of viewer empathy and visual warmth. Cinematic lighting basically tells us that shadows and highlights are going to be used to guide our emotions, creating real depth and intimacy. And the requirement for expressive characters rendered in Ultra HD? That means we, the audience, will be able to see every micro-expression, every slight widening of the eyes or subtle curl of a smile. This whole visual style is deliberately designed to foster immediate empathy. Section 2. A boy and a cookie. Meet our protagonist, Leo. He's a cheerful 8-year-old boy walking home from school. Now notice what he's carrying in his lunchbox. It's a single chocolate cookie, his absolute favorite snack. So the crucial point is that he only has one cookie. By giving Leo just a single cookie instead of, say, a whole box, the prompt instantly raises the emotional stakes. If he gives it away, he has literally nothing left for himself. That singularity transforms a completely casual snack into an item of immense personal value for an 8-year-old. Let's map out exactly how this plays out in real time. It's 3 p.m., he finishes school and walks home. By 3:10, he takes a seat on a park bench. Then, 5 minutes later, we hit a critical narrative trigger. He spots a small, hungry puppy staring at him with sad eyes. This creates a brilliant micro-dilemma. Leo looks at his prized possession, the cookie, and then at the puppy. The tension is brief, but man, it is real. And how does he resolve it? By 3:16, with immediate, selfless empathy. He smiles warmly, breaks his absolute favorite thing right down the middle, and shares it. He actually sacrifices his own complete satisfaction just to alleviate the suffering of another. Section 3. The unexpected reward. Now, here is the story's major narrative pivot point. Unbeknownst to Leo, his private act of sharing was actually being watched. An elderly woman who was watching nearby with a smile approaches him. Now, she doesn't give him another cookie or hand him a $5 bill. She hands him a small mystery box as a reward for his kind act. This is a classic storytelling trope, right? The wise figure rewarding the pure of heart. But the fact that it is a mystery box, that shifts the genre slightly from a simple slice-of-life moment into something almost magical. It tells us that kindness unlocks the totally unexpected. Inside that mystery box, Leo finds colorful flower seeds, accompanied by this exact note: kindness always grows into something beautiful. Just let that phrase sit with you for a second. It's absolutely crucial. This is the philosophical anchor of the entire prompt. It takes this abstract concept of kindness and turns it into a tangible, literal metaphor. You don't just do kindness, you plant it. And exactly like a seed, it requires a little time, but its natural inclination is to grow and bloom. Section 4. Cultivating a community. Let's move to and see how this builds chronologically. Step 1. Leo takes those seeds home and plants them in his own backyard. Step 2. Time passes. Over the next few weeks, beautiful flowers begin to bloom. But step 3 is where the magic really happens. The garden becomes an ecosystem. It attracts butterflies, it attracts birds, and most importantly, happy neighbors. What started as a completely solitary act of sharing half a cookie on a park bench has now organically grown into a thriving, living hub of community activity. And this brilliantly illustrates the immense transformative power of those tiny mystery seeds. Looking at the text comparison, on the left, we have Leo's original environment, a once empty yard, literally a blank canvas. But on the right, it has become the most beautiful garden in the entire neighborhood. The physical environment has been completely rewritten by a single act of empathy. Section 5. The core message. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the final scene brings absolutely everything full circle. The text specifies this exact final composition. Leo, the puppy, and the elderly woman are now reunited, and they're smiling together. But they aren't alone anymore. They're surrounded by children playing among the flowers. The isolated figures from the park bench are now the foundational pillars of this vibrant community. The narrative is showing us, visually, that this entire beautiful world, the flowers, the playing children, the joy, was literally built on the foundation of one shared chocolate cookie. As the animation draws to a close, the prompt mandates this exact text to appear on the screen. One small act of kindness can change the world. This is it. This is the ultimate moral truth that the entire aesthetic and narrative structure was engineered to deliver. The cinematic lighting, the expressive Ultra HD characters, the pacing of the mystery box, it was all a vehicle to make this one sentence resonate as deeply as humanly possible with the viewer. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn the mechanics of this story over to you. We've seen exactly how the blueprint works on screen, but how does it work in reality? Think about your own favorite snacks, your own time, your own empty yards. What small seeds of kindness will you plant today? Because as we've just seen, you really never know what kind of beautiful world might grow from them tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me to deconstruct this amazing text. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.